And for John, his situation was the same, but also like much more extreme. I mean, you're talking about a person who, is a black guy, grows up in a or is born into an incredibly segregated city in the South, and lived in a neighborhood in the middle. I mean, it's the middle of Atlanta, um, that through the early 1960s did not have running water or electricity, like, which is just kind of like a mind-blowing thing. But that was how his family and all their neighbors were treated. It was basically a shanty town in the middle of a city. And so that's what he's born into. Then his mother dies, and she doesn't just like a stroke or heart attack. She dies of alcoholism. His father suddenly now trying to raise two kids while working 7 days a week, which is completely impractical. And so he puts them in an orphanage. And I think he thought it was going to be temporary, but of course it wasn't. I mean, he died a few years later. So, that's what this kid is born into. Like what a tremendous sense of or set of challenges for someone. And then he kind of gets like the little orphan Annie thing where he's adopted by family he didn't know existed. And so it's literally like maybe the luckiest thing that could possibly happen to someone in his situation. And yet even that doesn't go right because, by that point he's a teenager and he's difficult and he's confused. And he doesn't know how to be in a family, and he's been on his own, and so many things go so wrong for so long that he's not a good person to be in a family. And so then there's talk of like, hey, should we send this kid back? And then outside of the home, he's ostracized because he's got one set of clothes, and he's got this strong Southern accent, and he's in a northern city. And so he's has trouble fitting in, and sort of makes his way through high school by relying solely on himself, and just like, I'm just going to block out the world